Good morning, everyone. It's our immense pleasure to have with us Professor Dr. N.A. Talwar with us. Sir is Professor, Department of Fishery Engineering, Faculty of Fishery Sciences, West Bengal University of Animal and Fishery Sciences, Kolkata. And the topic chosen for deliberation is technological innovations for sustainable fisheries. Sir, you are audible as well as visible. Also, your presentation is visible also. You can start the slideshow and you can start, sir. Dr. Talwar, please start, sir.
Yes. Shall I start now?
Yeah. Please start the slideshow.
Yeah. Good morning, all of you, and I welcome to to my presentation. First of all, let me thank to the organizing of this training program for giving me a wonderful opportunity to have an interaction with you all people. And as you can see on the screen, our topic today is the technological innovations for sustainable fisheries. And you see, mainly I'm going to talk about the particular relevant to the capture fisheries, not culture fisheries, because my specialization is fishery engineering technology, and I think many participants may not be aware about the marine capture fisheries. So in this context, I have taken this topic, selected the topic for what are the technological innovations has been done since 1950 for sustainable fisheries. I think everybody knows for thousands of years, the world vast ocean has sustained us. And today across the globe, some around 260 million people depends upon the marine fisheries for their livelihood. And meanwhile, at the same time, around 3 million people worldwide rely on seafood as a major sources of protein. And according to the survey conducted by FAO, the Indian fishing industry, which employs over around 14 million people, and it constitutes about 6.3% of the global productions. And this is the present situation of our India as well as the world also. And let us go for the next slide in the introduction. We see global fisheries at present, they are facing two major challenges. One is the climatic change, which results in the fish stock moving away from the historical grounds. Because of the climatic changes, fish stocks are moving from their original places to some other places. And with that result, what happened? The feeding of millions of people is very difficult, and difficult for maintaining the healthy sources of protein in a sustainable way. Then what is the new era of technological innovations presents for this kind of overcome situation or opportunity? See, new era of technological innovations presents a greater opportunity to protect our oceans and to maintain the healthy fish populations and to feed around 3 million people and to protect the livelihood for more than 60 million people, and through adopting the impact of climate change and all. You see, what is sustainable approach? Actually, sustainable approach means we have to satisfy the needs of the present situation of the marine challenges without compromising the resources of the future generations. For that, the technological innovations can offer an opportunity to improve the fisheries management practices as well as in seafood businesses also, and they can also empowering the fishers, those who are engaged in the fishing center. You see, the major technological innovations that has been taken place in Indian capture fisheries since independence are, you see, there are many technological innovations has been taken place. The main aim of that time in after independence, that is around during 1950, the major aim was to enhance the production. So with that name, they have started introduction and popularization of synthetic fishing materials in fishing gear technology, and they have started introductions in mechanized fishing vessels like trolling and purseines in mid 1950s. And expansion of fishing fleets, either expansion of fishing fleets in terms of number of fishing vessels they have increased, and the size of the fishing vessels also they have increased. And apart from that, not only the size has increased, they have installed the horsepower engines and the turbo engines also they have installed. And with that result, the capacity and the introduction, the capacity of the fishing has been increased, and they have started going for multi-days fishing. Earlier, there was only single-day fishing. They used to go. So this is the after 1950s. The improvement in efficiency and diversification of trawls, it has been taken place not only trawls in person also, in bill nets also, and long line also for mechanized sectors. And the expansion of fishing grounds for harvesting deep sea fishing for deep sea prawns, lobster, and cephalopods. And these are the some minor. I mean, this is only background I am going to give you highlight. And what are the exact technology is available for sustainable fisheries? I will come to another slide center. And you see the expansion of fishing grounds for harvesting of deep sea fishing for deep sea prawns, lobster, and cephalopods. And the later, what happened? You see, in after Second World War, sonar and echo sounder they used to use for the Second World War, and that technology they have adapted to adapt for the identification of fishing schools and all. And GPS, of course, they have also started adapting, and the chartering and they have then they have started using joint ventures by collaboration with some groups and all. They have started venturing into the sea to get the more catches. And another point is motorization of traditional fishing crafts and expansion of fishing grounds. You see, earlier in all east coast and west coast, we are using all only traditional crafts we are operating for harvesting the fishing or for harvesting the fishing resources of the inshore water. And you see, after that, in 1950, after 1950, they have started the motorization or mechanization by selecting on trial and error method by selecting the some regions of the fishing crafts center. Like example, in Halar Machwa and in Rampani, they have selected for the motorization. And once they have started experiment on the motorization of those things, and they have expanded their fishing grounds also. And that's what the same thing, that is the improvement of traditional fishing units either in terms of craft motorization, and they are then after that gear material improvisation they have done, and with that result the efficiency of gear has been increased, and they have taken multi-dimensional changes in the fishing catch they have seen. In earlier fishing gear materials, they used to use a natural fibers they are using for the construction of the fabrication of the fishing gears. Once they have used the synthetic fibers, that is once they have polyvinyl and man-made fibers, so the gear efficiency has been automatically it has increased, and the shelf life of the gear also is increased. With that result, the diamonds of the catch and it is also enhanced. You see, then in mid 1980, in almost all in southwest coast, especially in Kerala coast and all, they have introduced the ring seam, and that ring seam have a very good impact on the catches. So it is it took a rapid expansion in terms of size of the crafts and all, and it is very easy to operate also. And the horsepower of OBM engines and craft materials and increase in overall dimension of the ring seam has been increased, and mechanized of first line hauling also it increased. You see, it is not only fishing gears, it is some part of vessel part also they have made some innovations with respect to its hull design and optimization of the hull, and improvement in engine performance by including the turbocharging engines, and propulsion systems also they have incorporated. They have studied some innovations in that, and hydraulic hauling system, hauling mechanism, machinery they have also included. And on board the vessels also they have started. Earlier there was no processing this thing, very small there was no fish hold also earlier, but after that, in onboard the vessels, they have started using fish processing, pre-processing and processing plants and preservation techniques. They have already introduced, and packaging systems also they have introduced. With that, then apart from that, the fuel conservation, that is a technology also they have incorporated in the fishing vessels. And then apart from this, you see a lot of winches they have incorporated in triple head winch, and David say they have incorporated in persines, and some line haulers also they have involved for the improvement of the vessels. And not only in vessels, they have improved the navigation equipments, fish finding electronics they have adopted for their fishing, and the navigation that controls the main display and electronic aids. Anyway, this we are going to deal in detail in AI system again. And these are just I'm giving some small examples. The technology has been adopted in fishing navigation also, that is controls and main display, electronic aids for the operations, and radio communication also they have adopted, which are been important for the safety and for the general purpose. And these all have also had a major effect on the efficiency and profitability of the fishing vessels. And after that, the introduction of widespread use of outboard engines has greatly changed the smaller scale. In small scale industry, fishing industry, the introduction of outboard engine has made a major changes in the outboard engines. Outboard fishing vessels. You see that I told already this the fast technological development or involvement in the fishing industry, or even fishing gears and fishing method, was aims to increasing the production, and by increasing the efficiency of by increasing the gear efficiency. That is the aim was to increase the production, not sustain the productions. So because earlier there was a myth that the ocean is having inevitable resources and they can as much as they can harvest. Then, however, at present situation, after improving of including all the adaptation of the technological in 1950 to 1980, that leads to overfishing situation, and with that situation of overfishing, increase the awareness of environmental and ecological impacts of fishing. And also the fishing gear development is focused on the development of responsible fishing gear system, and with improved selective and species selective as well as size selective properties also, they are giving much more importance of this. And there is a, you see, once the responsible fishing they have adopted in 1980 and 1987, they have made a government has made one law. Despite a fishery law enforcement in 1983, probably 1983 or 1987, the Marine Fishing Act orders the prohibition of certain fishing gears and regulation of mesh size, establishment of closed season and some areas, closed area also, the demarcation of zones for non-fishing, non-trawling, and in addition to that, other measures such as use of turtle explorer devices and designation of no fishing areas, most of which are highly unregulated. And with that result, this decreased impact of with this thing, they have decreased impact on the environment and non-target resources, and they have started thinking about the sustainability of fish stocks. You see, there are some innovations for the sustainable fisheries are that is I'm going to focus on only 3 fisheries. That is, one is reducing bycatch on non-targeting fish species, and protecting the technology. Sorry, I'll repeat this one because that what I was explaining on one another slide. Anyway, technology innovations for sustainable fisheries are harvesting resources, mainly focusing on the bycatch reductions of non-target fishes, in especially in trawl fisheries, and protecting the target species and their juveniles, uh, and minimizing the environmental impact of fishing gears and their operations, and it is minimizing the energy use per unit volume of fish landed during the fishing operations. And you see, that's what I am going to concentrate on the three fisheries. One is trawl fisheries, the second one is Persian fisheries, and another one is trawl fisheries. You see, mainly the effect of that innovations of new technology on trawl fisheries is having bycatch problems, that so that the scientists, they are thinking about using the bycatch reduction devices. The total bycatch reduction devices are mainly three types. One is soft bycatch reduction devices, and hard bycatch reduction devices, and combination of these two. You see, normally in hard bycatch reduction devices are mainly in bycatch reduction devices are mainly made up of the soft material like netting materials, and it has been framed by the ropes for the separating and the excluding the bycatch. In hard bycatch reductions, as name itself it indicates, it is they are made up of the hard and semi-flexible grids and structures for the separating and excluding the bycatch. Sometimes in future slides you may see the combination of hard bycatch and hard bycatch reduction devices as well as soft bycatch reductions, and they can used in a single system. You see, the first one is soft bycatch reduction devices. You see, the square mesh window, the first they have started in Norway, and Norway fishing this thing. You see, the beauty of the fishing square mesh windows is, you see, there is these panels, the fishes are escaping from the square mesh windows that you have seen. This escape window made a large mesh opening. Netting are provided the upper panel of the quadrant and belly. You see here, during the when trawling is dragging, or when trawling operation is carrying on, if it is normally mesh, for example, diamond mesh size, the mesh limits are closed, whereas in square mesh, the mesh limits are open so that it can escape from the openings of the mesh. This is the beauty of the square mesh window. And you see, the all BRD, that is bycatch reduction devices for trawl fisheries, it is mainly based on the different behavior of they have developed based on the different behavior of fishes and shrimps, and mainly this square mesh windows, they have fit in the throat portion. In throat portion, that is before the front portion of the cord end portion. And the square mesh has the advantage of, that's what I told already, the square mesh has the advantage that the mesh openings is not distorted while undergoing the operation, unlike diamond meshes. You see, that there another what is the another fish eye board this thing. You see, the same thing, the fish eye BRD is a semi round opening which has been held by the rigid triangular, as shown in the figure, a triangular shaped frame at set a distance from the drawstring of the cordon. That is the end of the cordon. It will be fixed so that the fishes can be escaped easily. That I have shown in the figure also. You can see the how it is the drawstring. This is the trawl and drawstring, and this is fish eye and eye. They are going to be fixed in this one. This is nothing but semi-round openings, rigid triangular shaped, so that the fish is going to be escaped from this end. And the another one is the big eye BRD. That is also the same. It is a horizontal slit of the big eye BRD, which has been fitted with the floats, and then the same in the same direction. It is also the same thing. It is some floats and weights are be located in and around, so that what will happen? It is also fitted in the distance from the drawstring, as shown in the figure. And see, once the fish will going to enter into the cord end, when it will come back, it will try to come back from that cord end portion, so that fish can be escaped. These are beautiful pictures I have shown in this one, and these are the turtle extruder devices they can use also. Anyway, this there's another several grids. Actually, this is the grids. The normally they have in Norway they have prepared. That is several designs. The designs may vary actually. This is sorting rigid grid sorting devices have been developed for the separation of the shrimps as well as the fish from separated from the fish from non-shrimp resources. And this is most popular than first in 1992. They have in Norway they have started, that is called as a Nordmore grid. And here actually in the same way in India also, in CIFT also they have developed for separation of the shrimps as well as fish. That I will see in the next slide. It is there. Okay. In CIP, they have made this is a juvenile fish extruder comes shrimp sorting devices. Here, what is happen? You see, this is a hoop. This is the hoop where the fish is going to be entered, and this is a grid, that is juvenile fish extruder come shrimp sorting grid, and which has been fixed around in around 45-degree angle. And this is the accelerator panel. Okay, this is the accelerator panel where the fishes will enter and it will hit into this one. And there are below, that is there are two cord end, and this cord end, it is upper cord end is made up of the square mesh, and the lower also it is made up of this square mesh cord end. But the beauty of this upper cord end, say for example it is 60 mm mesh cord they are made, and whereas in a lower it is around 20 to 25 mm square mesh cord end, so that once the fish will enter, if you pass the grid directly, it may go to the first earlier this thing. If it is by mistakenly the shrimps will enter here, it is going to be excluded, or it is going to be escape. So that if it is less than, say for example it is around 60 mm cord and mesh size by square mesh, if it is the species less than 40 or 20 mm grid, it can escape, so that it can exclude the juveniles also, it can exclude, and only particular size this has been the fishes will be going to come. This is very beautiful technology that has been developed by our Indian institute, that is CIFT, and they have got a very good result also out of this. And in 1998 they have made around, they have got around 48% of bycatch is contributed by the juveniles, so that they have started using this one. And the CIFT has made a very unique solution for the problem for the juvenile extruder, juvenile fish extruder cum shrimp sorting devices. And this is normally it is brings down the around 43% of shrimps are retained in the down lower cordon, and whereas in shrimps with retains around 96 to 70. Sorry. Operation Cochin have realized that bycatch reduction up to 43% with the shrimp retention of 90 to 96%. This was the result. This is a very beautiful technological innovations from the CIFT. And apart from this also, I think probably for this no need to explanation for everyone, and all participants may be aware about this one, that turtle extruder devices. And this is mainly they are using for modification of trawl net to keep the turtles, and for which, and there is a sorting grids will be there as shown in the figure. When fish or turtles will be enter into this one with the funnel, and this escape opening will be there for the turtles, and with that grid turtles is going to be excluded, for which actually there are a lot of laws are came out to eliminate the turtle mortality from the tall fisheries, because and turtle by reducing the catch, many regulations and rules and regulations that has come up for the turtle extruder devices, as because turtle in ICN turtle is around 10 dozen species. I think in the second fisheries, that was the trawl fisheries. What are the technological innovations has been made? And here in fisheries in Persian also, I think probably many people may or may not be aware about this. The special small escape panels that was known as the Medina panels. You see the beauty of perceiving is while once they have catch is encircled with the huge perceive, there was a every chances of entering into the sea mammals or dolphin into the enter into the net. So in that case, what they have done actually, this has been done for the protecting the net. That is in 1970 only they have made it, but in India it has come very little late. That is escape panel that is known as Medina panels. It is fabricated with very fine mesh webbings, and Medina panels are swung into upper part of the person net, so that the dolphin cannot enter into the fishes. I mean the person. Then another beautiful that is the main bycatch reduction devices in persons are Medina panel. And another very beautiful gillnet fisheries, the beautiful and attraction is, you see, there are many catches. I mean, bycatch will be there in gillnet fisheries is very less comparatively Persian and trawl fisheries, because the gillnet nature is very highly selective in nature. And of course, it is selective in nature, but there is a problem of every problem of ghost fishing. And in order to avoid that ghost fishing, then acoustic equipment has been developed by the Australia and some Norway, that is called as fingers. That what these fingers will do it actually, the fingers will be attached. It will be mainly it is to save the dolphins, marine mammals, and actually this. And fingers are active device that is designed to save the very. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Because I am keep on explaining, so I am unable to get the. You see, the the beauty of the fingers are actually it is emitting low level sensor pulses, so that can be detected the mammal within the radius of around 300 feet radius. So that this can be attached either head rope or foot rope. That is in if it is bottom gillnet, they are using at the top of foot rope. If it is surface gillnet, they are using in the sorry, it is in the just is reverse. If it is bottom, you are using in the top, and it is at a regular interval. If it is a surface, they are using in the foot rope. And these are the some gillnet fingers. Actually, this is very good. I think probably it has not come. It has some part of fingers are come into India to see the this. This is the one beautiful invention technology has been incorporated in gillnet by use of the fingers for bycatch. I mean, avoiding the mammals catch. You see, line fishing, I think for this, no need to introductions. Line fishing, long line fishing vessels, especially. And you see, these vessels here in long line fishing, use a series of hooks which they attach a piece of bait. Generally, the baits are the speeds they are using, and send down to branch line into the water for the fishing purpose in the series. In that case, what will happen while the operation of the long line fishing, the baits are attempt to steal the birds. The birds are normally all birds, and the birds are attempt to steal the baits from the hooks as it lives in the boat. Uh, as it lives in the boat, occasionally it snags themselves and it will entangle themselves, the birds. And if it is unable to get free, they are going to damage the, or they are going to drag into the down underwater with the gear, and it may drown. It is an unintentional and seemingly unavoidable process while operating bait, and there is a they have made a streams actually, a simple device. These streams they are made to scare the birds away from the baited hooks. And streamers lines are created mainly to visualize the barrier against the scavenging the seabirds. And here this sea mortality, sea turtle mortality also we have seen in long line operations, that can be also reduced by using the different size of the hook. Earlier normally they are using conventional hook like J-shape hook they are using, and they are, here you can use, by using the circle type of hooks also you can use to avoid the sea turtle mortality. Yes, please. Next, please. You see, since 1950, many technology has been adopted to allow the fishing fleets to double their potential power for last 30 years. And on an average, the aquatic ecosystem and fishing communities in India to suffer a long time due to over exploitation because of the more technology. You see, more technological innovations and adaptation leads to depletion in the stocks as well as over exploitation. With that result, again sustainable development goals has come up nowadays. I think probably SDC, that is sustainable goal, sustainable development goals in the UN government, United States, and as well as European Commission. They have started in 2020. That is, they are having around 40 many goals, out of which the 14th goal is our with concern to our marine fisheries. That 14th goal is mainly referred to as under below the water. That is main aim is to protect the sea and to manage the resources. That is the main aim through using technological and digital environment. Anyway, however, the sustainable development aim is to for a better aquatic balance. India has a long way to become a country that uses 100% sustainable fishing practice. But since 1950, so many methods of conservation they have used, providing the steady source of income for the fishermen. Where one boat, for example, in 1950, they used to get on an average, it is I am giving, it is around 200 kg catch per day they used to get in 1950 also. Then after technology innovations and adaptation of some technology, mechanization of fishing crafts, and even though with that result, what happened? Number of boats has fleet size been increased, number of boat has increased, and many people are started venturing to the sea. With that result, also that the catch remains same in 2,200 kg per day in 1985 also. In 2019 also, after many innovation in technological in like bycatch reduction devices and trawls and fingers and gill nets and Medina what is that, Medina panels in Persins, and different size of the hooks and reshapes, and different deck equipment changes in the adaptation of technological changes in the deck equipments. In spite of that also, the catch remains same. However, the average catch amounts remain same, while because the stocks are started depleting. And you see 200 kg per day. That means around fishermen they are generating around roughly around 1,500 rupees per day. Somehow the how to overcome all those things? Some methods of sustainable fishing followed of restriction fishing, and you have to ban the fishing activities from uh, the government has taken some steps regarding some methods of sustainable fishing followed restriction fishing, ban fishing activities from December to February, and breeding season is also for the clams. The type of the shells they have also noticed they are also banned, and they have started imposing the mesh size restrictions for the uh, net. For example, 30 mesh size they are restricted in trawl cordon, and they are also imposing the use of the square mesh cordon. And along with the minimum export size of the clams also, they have clams and shrimps, so they are around 1,400 clams per kg. and they are also prohibition on the trawling ban they have done. And in spite of that, also still sustainable is required for this thing. And then you see the recent technological developments and new technological, and that's what I told in after 2019 in our United States of Nation as well as the European Commission, they have started sustainable goals for agriculture. And they, I think probably in I told sustainable goal 14 is stands for our below the water, that they have started using the technological and digital advancement that can allows the innovating monitoring equipment to better manage the fish stocks, which can use the all the stages of the value chain. That means to say that you see now technology innovation has been done since 1950 to harvest the resources, and they have developed the many bycatch reduction devices for trawl and all kind of fisheries to sustain the fisheries, but it is failure now, and it is failure means we are not enabled, I mean we are going to be unsuccessful in that. In that case, in the recent they wanted to merge, they wanted to collectively use the technology, and the technology means earlier technology as well as digital techno advances also they used to use the technology for monitoring this whole entire fish stock to for the better management stock, so that we can have a better sustainability. So what are the examples? I think probably vessel monitoring systems is one of the technology that is a new technology. I think in their in European Commission and Australia and all, they are using the global watch fishing, and some software also they have developed. And AIS, I mean acoustic identification systems in fishing vessel. I think probably this kind of systems are not adopted in our Indian vessels, Indian country. And apart from this, there is a new technology including big data. Big data means, you see, once you have started monitoring, you started collecting the data, so that there will be huge data will be there. That is handling of the huge data will be very difficult, and so that we can have a only single web platform then from that for that. And the IoT, that is the Internet of Things, and the sensor development, which is very costly affairs. Of course, in India it is not possible. They can go for the collaboration with some other countries, and our Indian government and some research institutes can think about sensors development, the cheap sensors, because our fishermen they cannot afford for the sensors of the abroad sensors. And robotics also, and robotics I think probably in agriculture they have started using sensors and robotics. That the same technology we can also adopt for our fishing technology. And data storage and transmissions will become more compact and cheaper, thus they encourage this kind of this in future we can encourage and we can use for the sustainable fisheries. And new information and monitoring technology are more potential game changer for the fisheries management, and their use for sustainable use. You see, vessel monitoring system. Vessel monitoring system means, so this is the, what is this actually? Vessel monitoring system is uses the global excuse the the vessel monitoring system is a satellite-based monitoring system which provides the data on the location of the fishing vessels, and the course of the fishing vessels, in which course it is the fishing vessels have been dragging, and the speed of the vessels and what vessels it is moving, and to the fisheries authorities at regular interval of time. It is, and what how they are giving it is giving the report. And actually this vessel VMS systems use the GPS, that is global positioning systems, to display the accurate geographical position of the vessels. And with that result, what happened, we are going to get all the information about our vessels for every each and everywhere, for their geographical position, what speed our vessel is moving, what course it is moving, etc. And these data can be transmit daily catch information directly to the a national fisheries monitoring center. You see, some fish monitoring centers has to be established on the land, so that they can particular, for example, particular east coast and some particular region, they can develop a fishery monitoring centers through which they can collect all the information about the vessel movement and everything. And contracting parties means there is a whole agency for collecting this all the information. They are responsible to ensure the information that is transmitted to the secretary. And this is the VMS is an important instrument for fisheries monitoring, and not only monitoring, it is control and surveillance, that is MCS, to reserve the current depressed state of the world fisheries and have a mandated worldwide for the fisheries management agency. You see, what is important, why you wanted to use VMS system and why it is important. First and foremost purpose is to management purpose. Management purpose, what you are going to do is here, you analyze the VMS data that can provide a spatial and temporal guide about fishing efforts, which is necessary information for management purpose. The second one is scientific purpose. What is why you want to? This is scientific purpose means the good quality estimates the fishing efforts that are required in order to design the management plans for the operation of different fishing gears for a different modeling purpose. And this is the first one is management purpose, it is important. Second one is scientific purpose, it is important. The third one is maritime spatial planning directive. That means the very this is the VMS is the key of the monitoring, control and surveillance. That's what I told. It is MCS programs at national levels as well as international levels. Like for example, in European and international levels, they can be used to improve the management and sustainability of the fisheries environment. So that the vessel monitoring system is very, very important. Of course, in India, there are only one company they are going to start. I mean, they have already started. I don't know how far our Indian vessels, fishing vessels, they have adopted, and it needs the intervention of the government rules and regulations and policy also. And this is what the management purpose. This VMS data are important. Scientific purpose are important, and maritime special planning purpose, it is very, very important. And the modeling purpose also is very, very important. Modeling purpose means you see the analysis of VMS data can be a significant input for the several model approach, combining the VMS data with bathymetry, environmental and oceanographic data, fisheries data, and sea bottom types data and habitats also. It is very, very important. And you see, then another thing is the common methodology steps here is the quality control data. This is elimination of errors in this. There may be, I think, probably while collecting, there may be errors. Error may occur in the while collecting the data, and the quality control data, we need to eliminate the raw data. Anyway, this is, I think, probably I'm going more than what the seminar requires actually. Anyway, this is our, I don't want to continue more on this aspect, because only you should know why is important this value VMS data, that is management purpose, scientific purpose, and maritime special planning directives and modeling purpose. And anyway, there is some models are there to which we can have this. And here fishing efforts, this main important by this data, we can identify the fishing grounds for the targeting species, especially for bottom trawling. We can identify identification and mapping migration spatio-temporal pattern for investigation of fishing feeds and estimation of small-scale fishing pressures. Also, we can use this data and evaluation of fishery statistics data by using VMS data. Also, we can be utilized. Anyway, this is the one. Then another system which can be used, that is automatic identification system. Automatic identification system. This system actually, automatic identification system, I think this is the actually vessel monitoring system is something different, and this automatic identification system, that is ship reporting system. It is based on the what are the messages they have broadcasted by the vessel. They carrying the transponder. It was developed primarily as a tool for the maritime safety to avoid the vessel collision for the vessel traffic system or for the vessel traffic services. You see, this automatic identification system is one of such a versatile ship tracking device, and as name itself it indicates, the automatically helps in procuring the detailed information of any ship at a sea, and it provides all the information regarding particular of the ship to the nearby ship and also the coastal authorities. How it works actually? You see, this mainly it runs on the basic principle of transferring the data electronically over the radio wave frequency, and it consists of this device is consist of high VHF, that is very high frequency transmitter and receivers, and the transmitters and receivers are attached to the ship display and sensor systems through communication link. In order to receive exact information of other ships and also send its own information, the AIS has a global. It should have a global position system through which it should be connected. Which is to be connected to the satellite. So here the GPS can be internally attached to the device, or sometimes it may be attached separately fitted to the system. And this AIS is also connected to all the other systems of the ships, and that is how it receives the ships details and sends them that own information across the other ships. What transformation can be transferred? What information can be transferred from this automatic identification system? You see, this automatic identification systems helps in transferring each and every detail regarding particular ships. It also helps in procuring details such as ship's name, which species ship is moving in and around, and what is speed, and what is its position, what's its direction, and what's run of turn, what destination, such etc. This kind of information they are going to be transferred to other ships also, and from one ships also it is going to transfer. It also helps in getting physical dimension of the ship. For example, the nearby ship, what size of the ship, what is the tonnage of the ship, and what is the breadth, and what is the beam, and what is the total entire the vessel dimension can be measured by this measured, and that information can be transferred to the VTS information center. And all these items can be informed. Informations are directly sent to the display system of the ship, and in which each and every details is continuously displayed in a real time data, and these details are extremely helpful in avoiding collision and reducing and monitoring the traffic, assisting in navigation, searching and rescue operations and investigation and research purpose also they can collect this kind of information. And thus the AIS are not only a tracking or ship reporting system, but also it is avoiding the many unfavorable situations. And then another systems actually other innovations are electronic recording and reporting system, ERS, that is called as e-logbook. You see, in normally what fishermen they are carrying their own logbook, that is handwritten, that is paper logbook, but new innovations has been done, that electronic recording and reporting systems, and here it is commonly it is referred as e-book, and here the logbook contributes the better management of fish stocks. You see, for example, if you're writing in the paper, what will happen? It may disappear, it may spoil it also. If you electronically store the data, so that it will be useful for better management of fish stocks by keeping the tracks of the catches, origin and its volume, and gear where they are used, and everything. And this ERS also collect the information, and this and very beautifully. Actually, this is a software, actually software based program actually. And this here also collect some information on the species, volume. Also, they are going to what the quantity of the fish they are going to get, and what are the species involved in that, and where that the catches has been collected. Some more important data can be also recorded here. Then apart from this, I think probably in VMS, that is a smartphone for monitoring VMS or AS data. You see smartphones, I think probably for this using smartphone, no need to introduction of the use of the smartphone. The similar smartphone can be also using the monitoring the VMS data and AS data. Here that is the GSM smartphone with VMS transceivers collect the data from fishing vessels and transmit this data to satellite operators to feed as a customer feedback on the database. And however, this coverage of this GMS smartphones is very less. In a land-based, it is okay, but in sea-based, it is coverage is very limited, and this tool is therefore limited for use of VMS. We use in it is limited by its coverage area at sea. It cannot be replaced by VHF. This thing. Anyway, some GSM smartphone has been developed as a innovation technology to monitor and maintain the VMS data. But the main disadvantage of this is the coverage area at sea is very limited. And then another technology for monitoring, that is big data technology for monitoring of fisheries. You see, big data means that's what I told. If you incorporate with VMS as well as AIS data, so if you are going for multi-day fisheries or monthly fisheries and monthly fishing and all, your data is going to be very huge, and the management data is very important. So that the big data technology, whatever is the data you are going to get, that has to be managed in a proper way for the long duration benefit. So that in that case, what will happen? You see, the Global Watch, Global Fishing Watch, I have told it, they have already constructed a new web-based technology platform where everything is integrated. Like AIS is there, VMS is there, and some e-logbook is there. Some other than smart weighing systems are there. Systems are there. The whole entire one completely vessels data will be stored at particular web form for a long duration time, and that has to be needed. And of course, it may not be come up in India, but in short duration time, because in 2019 our government has formed a Department of Ministry of Fisheries, so that they may be looking after all those things, and they may in short while they can come up with all this technology for adaptation with the under the name of that is sustainable development goals. Okay. And we see, and another beautiful technology, I think probably this is smart weighing system at sea. You see, smart weighing systems at sea means, you see, while you are weighing any catch in the system in the sea, because ship is in moving condition, there may be an imbalance or there may be some imbalance in weighing. So that large fishing vessel currently use motion compensated weighing system at sea in order to directly measure or store the raw material or raw fish or raw weight of the catch. Here, once the boat's movement at sea does not allow to determine the exact weight of the catch. Thus, the smart weighing system at sea calculates the weight of the catch while taking into account boat's movement. Here, they are using RFD technology. Anyway, that technology they are using, it is only very costly affairs, and I think probably in Indian people we are unable to use it. I mean, effort it. Then another technology, I think probably you may be knowing, this is drones technology, that is also called as unmanned vehicle. Unmanned vehicle they can also used. That is unmanned vehicle in aerial vehicles, There are different types of drones they can distinguish. I think that is unnamed sea surface vehicles and sorry, unmanned. That is surface vehicles, unmanned underwater vehicles, and where the distinction is made between remotely operated vehicles and autonomous underwater vehicles. And these drones can be used for the fish stock assessment, therefore providing cheaper service than the oceanographic vessels. But the using drones can be required certificates or some license it may require. And these are the some technologies which is important. They have been used for the, they can be used for the sustainable of fisheries. Of course, some technology are very costly affairs. To this end, actually, there are many recent technology developments has been taken in place. In such technology can be used either in collaborative manner with some other country or some other agency, so that that is involving more than one stakeholder groups, or non-collaborative manner which can be step up by the government to monitor the fisheries sector. And here the new information and the monitoring technology are a potential game changer for the fisheries management and sustainable fisheries. And this can be help in achieving the green growth of the sector. The application of this new technology has allowed the government to collect more data on the fish stocks for better monitoring, for enforcing and evaluating the environmental impact of the fisheries activities, so that they can improve the effectiveness of the policy to sustainable manage the fisheries. However, the wider use of these technology will still limited because of their cost, increasing the complex data requirement, challenging and sharing such a data among the fisheries management authorities, and limited number of individual trains the use of these tools. And with this, thank you. I'm going to conclude my seminars and this thing. These are the some technological innovations for the sustainable fisheries, and some technology has to be needs to adopt. Some technology already adopted in abroad, and like Norway, Australia, and Africa. But in Indian context, that this technology has to be adopted. Mainly, I'm enforcing or I'm suggesting to the fishermen to use the AI system and big data systems, electronic recording and reporting systems, and smart weighing systems. They can use also drones. Also, they can use some VMS systems for their settlement. Okay, thank you for your time and your attention. If you have a discussion, you can give me the hello. Now it is open for the discussion. Anybody is having questions, you can ask, or else you can write to my mail ID so that I can
Thank
give
you,
some
sir. Thanks a lot.
Hello.
We have about 4 minutes for our time. We can ask questions if there are any, or interact with the resource person from the part. Interaction can happen from the participants with the resource person. Yeah, if there are any, there are few questions I guess in the chat. Let me read it out. Just a second. How do we assess the fish potentiality in climatic stress or technology?
How to
assess the fish potentiality in climatic stress or technology?
By using that. Hello, I'm listening.
Yeah, yeah, you are audible, sir. You are audible.
How to assess the? I am unable to audible. Actually, sir.
I said hello? There is a question in chat. Am I audible, sir?
What hello? Is the question? How to assess?
The question is, how do we assess the fish potentiality in climatic stress or technology? The question is about fish potentiality in climatic stress or technology. Hello.
Sir, I will revert you back. Actually, you can. I will mail the things. Actually, I'm unable to get the things.
Anyways,
you can, sir. You can do one thing. You see, I'm unable to listen. You can all the chat message. You can
just
mail me
a second.
So just a second.
Yeah. You can even for the participants and also the resource person. We'll be sharing the link on the YouTube. You could ask the question anytime on the video, and if possible, by the resource person, he can reply to the comment there only. But let me again try to read it out if possible. You can hear it or type it out again. This is one question from Dr. Sanjeev Saha. Let me write it again as part of the chat.
Let me wait, sir. I will write it and I will answer them later.
Is it visible to you? I just typed it.
I am unable to visual, sir. Actually, I will come out.
Anyway, sir, they can write to you. You showed your email address.
Yeah, I have shown, sir. Actually, but I am sorry. Actually,
Yeah, I'll also share your email address
sorry,
so that they can write to you directly.
Sorry, can you mail the questions so that I can answer them?
Yeah, they can. I'll share the email address.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry for the interruption because here rain is. It is here. It is raining actually.
I have shared the email address on the chat window. Everybody would be able to ask questions to sir directly.
Okay, and you see my phone number also. You can if you are having, you can share with them also.
Okay, I have it. I'll share it accordingly.
Okay.
I'll be sharing the number here only in the chat. This is our resource person's number. You can directly contact him on phone. Anyways, thank you for being with us. On behalf of the participants and on behalf of the organizing committee, we express our heartfelt gratitude to you, sir, for being with us. Thanks a lot. It was such a wonderful presentation. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you. Let's join back at 2:30 for the next session. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you. Sir.
Everybody, please leave so that we could terminate the call. Thank you.